Hello and welcome to part 2 of What to Eat. So far you would have watched part 1 of What to Eat, and you would have watched Paul Chek's series on what is organics. I know that today, you're kind of expecting us to get straight into what to eat. We're going to get there. And some of you are just probably screaming, just tell me what to eat. Just tell me what to eat so I know what to eat. The thing is, I'm still going to have to break down a couple of things first, because I know from experience that when I just tell you what to eat, when the matrix is ingrained so heavily into you, it's going to stand in your way of actually hearing the word. So we're going to get there. I'm just doing you a favour by breaking down a couple of things first and then getting into the what to eat, because otherwise, as I say, I'm not really helping you if I just go straight into the what to eat, because you won't hear it, or you'll hear it and it'll bounce off the beliefs that you've got in your head, and it'll you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about when I talk about the matrix. So we've got the timer running. It's going to go 10 minutes this time. Hopefully it'll work. Now let's just start with a couple of things. Recapping some of yesterday's points. We want to be eating local and organic. Now I'm going to bring up a couple of reasons for this today. Firstly is the energetics. When you live in, let's say, the Gold Coast, if you're a local here, or anywhere in the world, wherever you are, if you live in your local environment and you've been there for a certain amount of time, there is a certain amount of the local environment that is a part of you and you're a part of it. The energetics of the local place. If you want to, make that more scientific, the kind of the geomagnetic fields. There's a lot that you can take into account when it comes to the local environment and the energy that exists there or here. So if you're, trying to get in all these foods and these superfoods, I'm going to cover superfoods. But if you're, getting in stuff from Brazil or the Amazon or parts of Russia or whatever, it's not that they're not a good food, it's just that they're not as good for you as something that's grown locally, because whatever grows locally is not only seasonal, that's a big thing, is eating seasonally. When you're eating local and organic, it's hard not to eat seasonally, right? And you want to do that because at certain times of the year, your body needs more heavy, warmer foods in winter, and your body needs lighter, cooler foods in summer. Now, if you're just trying to eat based on dogma and I need oats, or I need veggies, or I have to eat raw, or I have to eat whatever, you're going against the grain of nature, and it's not going to do you as much good as you think the beliefs that are having you think that they're going to do for you. So local and organic helps you eat seasonally, helps your body receive the right amount of energies and nutrients for the specific times of the year, because we have to our body's needs change day to day, minute to minute even, let alone season to season. And so any food that grows within the local area, most of the food on the Gold Coast is either grown on farms, either on the coast or just a bit further up, just past Brisbane or just down over the border in northern New South Wales, but by and large it's the same energetic area. So you're just getting foods that just are adapted to you in the local environment. That's the short answer to that one. Now, for you to be able to go to the organic markets, so basically if you're on the Gold Coast, obviously if you're in other parts of the world, just seek out your local organic farmers markets. I can't help you as to where everywhere in the world, if you're watching this from somewhere else, where all your local things are. But on the Gold Coast, you've got the Miami Organic Farmers Markets. That's every Sunday morning from 6 in the morning to 11. Kind of want to get there early so you're getting more of the fresher stuff, but you're still going to get good quality produce later in the morning if you're a late sleeper. And then you've got, secondary to that, you've got, say, Ray Organic, which is in Palm Beach. I think it's the only one left on the coast. I think there's one out somewhere else. Anyway, that's local. Good. It's not as good quality because, it's a bit older stock. Going down in quality, again, you got Mrs. Flannery's. Still good. You're still getting organic produce, but it's been there a bit longer, so it's not as good quality, as fresh, as nutrient dense as what you're going to get from the local markets, which is generally just being picked the day before. And now going back to what I mentioned in the video yesterday on community and just a connection to your food, there is a massive difference between being able to look the farmer in the eye who's grown your potatoes or milk the cow that you're drinking your raw milk from, and having a relationship with them, knowing you're on a first name basis with them. It's different to going into, faceless corporation A, B or C, and going down aisle 9 to pick up some generic piece of crap that's in the aisle. It's just a whole different, on so many levels that I'm not going to bother explaining today. If you see my iceberg videos and things like that, you know, there's a lot of different levels to what most people think. Here's a piece of food and I'm just going to eat that and then that's the end of it. It's got calories in it or whatever. But there are so many energetic levels below that you're probably missing out on because of, you know, because of that and not having a relationship with the food. Now, okay, so money. Money comes up a lot, and if you've watched my, started to watch my videos on money and the monetary system, you might have gathered by now that money's not a good thing. It's just not. I don't care how many ways you can justify it. There's no, especially even an economist, right? I guarantee you cannot tell you where a dollar starts and where a dollar finishes. They just can't, because it's just this. That's for the other videos, but it just doesn't work. But having said that, all of us at the moment live in some way or another on money. So most people's objection to eating organically is it costs too much. Oh, I can't eat organically, it's too expensive. I'd rather just go down to Coles or whatever and get cheaper food. I'm just going to give you a quick example here. Organic carrots, right, cost anywhere from $3.90 to $4.50 maximum a kilo, depending on the time of year. Okay, $4.50 a kilo. Now you can go to Coles and I'm sure you can get a carrot for 99 cents a kilo. But what does that carrot cost? It's not nothing. There's no free lunch, so to speak. And even though I personally think that everything it just has no actual value. It has no, this is more valuable than that, really, with most things. But when it comes to money, you know, you're not looking at the big picture. If for a carrot to cost 99 cents, what does that really cost? You know, did somebody even die to be able to bring a 99-cent carrot to the supermarket? That's highly possible. There's a lot of things I've seen in the world that, you know, a lot of people don't know that goes on. So, firstly, your organic farmer, he's not going home after the markets to polish his golden yacht. It's just, they're not charging you $4.50 a kilo because they're profiteering on. And this just comes back to what I mentioned in the last video about priorities. You know, if you're not willing to spend $150 a week or so on your own food, you just, you know, I just guess that your life isn't that great in general. You're too caught up in material things. You'd rather buy something new. When people say, I want to spend my money, I work hard for my money, I want to spend it on myself, but they kind of got it wrong. Like, they think that spending money on themselves means going out to dinner, buying new things. I need more clothes, I need something else or other. Spending money on yourself should mean nourishing yourself, you know, and that's food. Spend your money on your food and water, and your life from there, no matter what you do, is going to be, it's irrelevant to, it doesn't rely on external things then, because your life is just awesome because you've spent the money and the energy on yourself to feed and nourish yourself. It doesn't come, you know, the happiness doesn't come from external things and being able to, you know, buy new things. I know a lot of people that love to go out and buy things and they're just unhappy. They're temporarily distracted once they've bought something new, and then, you know, that fades very, very quickly, and then they're depressed again. So it's just the way we're approaching things. It's the way the matrix works. Again, as I keep saying, this is the way we've got a lot of things skewed, and this is the reason the world's being degraded, and our human bodies and our psyches and our souls are being degraded as well, because we've got the priorities wrong. You know, if let's just say everyone was rich, right? Let's say everybody on earth was a millionaire. Then what? Like, who's all these? You think you want to be rich so you can have luxury items and that, right? But what if everyone's rich? Who's going to make these luxury items? Because there's no slaves anymore. You've got to understand that a lot of these things, you know, your fancy clothes and your fancy whatever, and your 99-cent carrots that you're skimping money on your food so you can buy these other things. That all comes from slavery, or forms of slavery. You know, a carrot, for somebody to farm a 99-cent carrot, there's a lot of poisoning going on. There's a lot of corners being cut. For someone to be able to buy a $600 shirt, for some reason they want to do that, because it's got a label on it. It's just, I guarantee you, if everyone was a millionaire, then those slaves didn't have, then they're going to want their luxury. And then, so who's going to make them? It's just, people aren't thinking about these sorts of things. And actually, I'll just tie this in. I think I wrote it on here. Yeah, okay, so Monsanto. Another reason that I eat local and organic, and if you've watched some of my other videos like how to change the world, welcome to Utopia, that's going to have a couple of additional videos added to that, but I just mentioned that it's not about changing what's out there, it's about changing what's in here. And the reason that, I'm against companies like Monsanto, and if you're not familiar with Monsanto, when you look at the corporate structure and if you look at the world order, they're like right near the top. They basically own a lot of other corporations that make pharmaceuticals. I'll just finish this point for you. They make pharmaceuticals, they make drugs, they make pesticides, they own a lot of farming land, but it's not organic farming land. They own a lot of the crops. That's why a lot of my clothes are stained, right? But until I can get good quality, I'm actually making my own clothing line. That's what Global Biodynamics is, but that's for another video. I can't go out and buy just normal clothes anymore because I know that there's at least a 50% chance that Monsanto owns the cotton that came from a Monsanto-owned field, and you're just feeding that. So if you're not familiar with that, just look up what they are and what they do, and how they're not really that good for the earth or us as a species. A lot of people, they go on these big, the Occupy Wall Street thing and Occupy Monsanto, and it's all this thing where people are getting out and trying to stop it and fix it and whatever. You know how to do that? Just don't support them. If you just bought local and organic foods and you didn't go to Woolworths and Coles and buy packaged, processed stuff, they can't exist if you don't feed them money. So just don't. Just buy local and organic, and then they just fade away. They just go. You don't have to blow up their factories. You don't have to sit in a street and shut it down and protest and throw bottles and things. You just don't have to do that. It's not the way things are meant to go. Same with the Occupy Wall Street. The funny thing about Occupy Wall Street is that you got all these people whinging about all this inequality in the world as far as money, and how the top couple of percent have 90% of the world's money, or whatever it is, whatever the thing people whinge about. And then how they're whinging in that is they're using all their iPhones and crap to Facebook each other and Twitter each other, and I don't know what other things there are, social media, whatever's in social media, and they're using the exact things that they're whinging about. The companies that make those are the people they're whinging about, and they're using their things to whinge about it. So just stop consuming. Just stop consuming and those won't exist. Just stop consuming it and there won't be a Wall Street. Stop consuming, you can spend your energy on cultivating yourself, not trying to fight something external. So that kind of has nothing to do with what to eat, but I hope you get where I'm going with a lot of this video, is that when you start to realize how big of a part what you eat relates to everything else in the world, it relates to how it will relate to the world that you see. Me and some of the guys, my kind of circle of friends and that just all eat organically, grow some of their own food. We always see each other at the farmers markets and things like that. It's just like when you find out about all these occupying movements and things going on, you're like, what? Why? It's just something that you just haven't even, because we see the world as such a beautiful place because we've cultivated our inner environment, and we do that through eating high quality foods, all local, as I say, all organic. I just keep banging about the same point, but it's just to get through to you how important that is. So next video we are going to start moving on to actual foods, I promise. But again, without some of this, just without breaking down some of the ways that you see the world, just giving you what to eat, as I said at the start of the video, is not going to have the same sort of effect. It won't sink in as well. So now hopefully that you've watched this and a couple of the other videos, hopefully it'll start to sink in a little better, and I'm going to hit you up with some knowledge on the next video. So I'll catch you then. Again, any specific questions you want answered, write them in. I'll tie it in with the rest of the series. So I'll talk to you then. See you on the next video.